No one really knew what I was into. No one really knew if I was okay. And no one really knew what was my issue. But what can I say? I'm being the way I am. 'Cause in the end, I paint my own canvas. I know my true colors, I know my shades, and there's no gray in my own mixture. So there's no reason to make a change. I paint my own canvas. I paint my own canvas. And no one really knew what you're into. And no one really knew if you're okay. And no one really knew what was your issue. But what can you say? You're being the way you are. 'Cause in the end, you paint your own canvas. You know your true colors, you know your shades. There's no gray in your own mixture. So there's no reason to make a change. You paint your own canvas.
Man, I'm already emotional. I haven't even started. My name is Derek James August, and I'm 31 years old. Today is September 13th, 2021. 6 months ago, I embarked on a journey, which at first was just desperation, trying to get myself out of a hole, and not just financially, just overall, overall wellness. And I didn't think, initially starting, I didn't think that I was going to even be alive 6 months. And that sounds crazy, but you guys will soon see what I mean by that. I don't know where to begin. When I was a kid, I always admired the guy who would come in, like the barbershop movie, right? The guy who would come into the barbershop, open up his shirt or his trench coat and be like, yeah, I got this, I got this. And I admired the hustler, I admired the entrepreneur, the person that, you didn't really, he's always a sub character. But when you seen that person, he always was high energy, you know, um, persistent, um, and just passionate about what he was selling. And I smile because I truly appreciate, respect, and love the spirit of entrepreneurship. And there would be no me without that spirit. And just seeing that entrepreneurship and seeing, people in my family, um, from my grandfather down to every man that I've been exposed to in my family, has some type of extreme entrepreneurship, extreme creativity, and little Derek, man. First, let me just do this. God is so good, man. Little Derek, little Derek, got a vision when he was like 12 to do everything that I've been trying to do here in the last, 17 years of my life, but let alone, the last 6 months. And it was to basically, at the time when I was a kid, I didn't know what it was, but basically it was to create a multifaceted brand that was going to, so powerful, basically build other brands. So little Derek listened, and I started my initial company, Day to Day Enterprise. Started off with BBP, and I got a tattoo when I was like 17, 18 or something. I hit it for like a year or so. That's the spirit of everything that I do. Business before pleasure. That's what BBP stands for. So for you guys who know me, you know, and I'm sorry for the tears, but you're gonna see why in a second. Um, for those who know me, you understand that how much like I embody that phrase, and I branded myself at that 17 or 18, yeah, about to be 18. I branded myself because I knew I knew the path that I was going to be on. You know, I knew that no one was going to listen to me, and I'm not taking shots at anyone. That's just life. It's part of the process for people to push you away. It's part of the process for people not to believe in you. It's part of the process for people to tell you to do this and you to go the other way. But I knew at 17 that eventually where I'm at right now, through the grace of God, man, where I'm at now, as in everything that I have and I'm about to show you, I own, I created it. I can pass on down to whoever. Ownership, bingo. Something that no one wants to talk about here in America because we're consumers. We're programmed to be consumers. Not even in America, in this world. Here goes the personality. Ownership. You got to respect the entrepreneurs and the business owners that own. Woo! And I put that energy into ownership so you understand how much I value ownership. You, all my favorite artists don't own their music. All the people I used to look up to don't own their stuff. Most of the businesses, the managers that I've worked for the businesses that I've basically been employed at, don't own their stuff. And I always wondered why people was always like, why they were jealous, why they were upset, why, because favor's not fair. And I've always had the favor. What is the favor? It's the spirit of entrepreneurship. It's the ability to, not depend on anybody. Of course, everyone needs support. They need financial, social, um, emotional support. But as far as the dependency, no. Why? Because once again, and go back. Little Derek at 12 years old was gifted with a vision. You are going to be influential. You are going to go and bless people every day. And I'm like, all right, that seems great. Yeah, I'm just going to be blessing people. I'm going to be influential. Had no idea that I would go through what I've gone through in my life. No idea. But what I did have is I had a vision. Let me say one thing. Success is not a destination. Success is, for me, for the record, just me statement. Success is envisioning something, dreaming something, thinking of something, planning something, and witnessing it manifest in front of you. And I've walked away from so many opportunities and or blessings and or just situations, circumstances because business before pleasure for me is success. I've had these plans in my head for years. And I wasn't able to unlock these things because I wasn't fully engaged into my process. I didn't understand. I was ill equipped as most people are in America, especially black men, you know. young men in general, black men of course, but young men in general, they don't give you the tools to succeed. I don't care if you're from a rich family or not. They don't give you the tools to succeed and back to success. For me, everything about this brand for me was all about respect, dedication to the process, business before pleasure. I wouldn't be able to do anything without this mentality. And the little Derek that went against the grain and got a tattoo before his 18th birthday and hid it from his mom. I'm sorry. I was branding myself because I knew that I needed to remind myself every day in order to be successful, you got to do what you do best and work on the things that you're not good at day to day. So at 14 years old, I began starting a business plan for my company called, let's see, Day to Day Enterprise. I have 3 tattoos on my body. BVP, Day to Day Enterprise. Most of y'all don't know this, but I got a tattoo right under the bullet holes. There goes 1 hole, there goes 2 holes, and I got another 2 there. Why would I do that? Crazy. To remind myself, no matter what, no excuses. I should be on disability right now, but I'm not. Whew, thank you. I should be dead right now, but I'm not. I should be broke in the mind, but I'm not. Success. When I came to Seattle, I came here with nothing but my no excuses t-shirts and hoodies. Because something told me that I was going to need them to survive. The gentleman that I came out here to work for and work with, not for, work with. It's like a Shark Tank thing. I'll get more into that in another story. He was very funny with how he did business, and I knew I wasn't going to stay there. I didn't know how long it was going to be. I knew I didn't want to be under contract and obligate myself to be with, someone I didn't really like. He's not a man of God, so I knew I wasn't, going to be comfortable. So I brought my stuff because I'm an entrepreneur in business before pleasure. And that decision right there kept me in the game. Because when we parted ways, when I was going through my depressive state after losing my grandfather on my dad's side and knowing that my grandmother was going to die, I was, dismantled. I was already scared for being out here by myself. The business is going great. I was walking around with all kind of money all the time, depressed. One of my dogs was stuck in Florida, and I pushed through. The only thing that got me through are these t-shirts and these hoodies. Man, I put it on my dog. I cut up one shirt and tied it up before I knew how to sew. I knew I was gonna know how to sew one day. I knew it was something. I started, getting creative, putting it on my dog. So every time I looked down at him, which was every day, all day, I see no excuses. When I looked in the mirror, I see no excuses. When I looked down at myself, I see no excuses. When I came home, I had my pillow, or excuse me, yeah, my pillow wrapped with a t-shirt that says no excuses. I slept on the floor and an air mattress and a couch for the last year and a half. For 4 months, from about May to about a week and a half ago. I was sleeping on the floor. I used the pillows and the backing and the cushions out of my couch to facilitate the pillow drive and the pillow manufacturing, basically to learn how to sew and to stimulate my own finance and occupation, basically, while I'm doing this whole free ministry, motivational community service, right? I had to sustain myself, and basically, I said, well, I can sell anything, so. If spirit of entrepreneurship, if I could just make it, I know, so I basically said, no one's gonna buy me fabric, no one's gonna buy me cotton, and I'm not taking shots, it's just the process, right? I can't go to anyone, I gotta do this myself. And I looked around and I was crying, dude. I'm like, I got all this stuff, I don't know what to do. And I just disassembled my couch, not realizing that when I go to sleep, the cushions are there, but the back, the pillows, and then basically the pillows and the backing of it, it's no cushion. So it's not comfortable. It wasn't comfortable anymore. And after making like, 50, 60 pillows, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to sleep on the floor until everything pops off or until I just completely break down. And I just trusted in God that He was going to deliver a bed to me. And I was getting down to the last wire. I was calling my cousin Shayla. I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. 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 Like, it was just it's exhausting. And you'll see why. Um, and then my neighbor was like, "Hey man, I got this bed. Me and my girlfriend broke up. Do you need a bed? You know anyone in a bed?" And I was just like, "Brr." And so for the past week and a half, I've been sleeping on a bed. Before that, I was sleeping on the floor. Before that, I was sleeping on the couch. Before that, I was sleeping on an air mattress. All part of the process. Don't feel sorry for me. Um, and in that process, right, it was a choice. All of that's a choice. At any point in time, I could have purchased a bed. My thing is I don't want to start putting furniture in here when I could get evicted, and that's what the fear was for me for the first part of this. And I know this is a long-winded thing, but what I've accomplished is very grand. I can't compress it into 2 minutes. Um, I made a choice to suffer a little bit. Let's go back. As a kid, let's get right into this. As a kid, little Derek, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? I wanted to be either a teacher, I wanted to go to the Marines, I wanted to be a photographer, a backup dancer, and what else? Landscaping company, of course, Mama Rita. I used to cut her grass like a professional. That's a whole nother story. Spirit of entrepreneurship was learned. A lot of principles was learned from cutting Mama Rita's grass. That's why I got a whole book on that. We'll talk about that another time because all this is overwhelming. I know. Whew. Little Derek managed to get his brands. Let me come over here. Whew. In 11 states, 20 cities. I hate to say it, it's all God, but the Holy Spirit allowed this all to happen by myself. And when I say by myself, it doesn't mean I had no help or support. I did have people purchase, um, pledge bundles, merchandise. They supported, um, they contributed. But the heavy lifting, man, I almost collapsed so many times just to get this thing up and running. And the only thing that kept me going is faith. spirit of entrepreneurship wasn't good enough. Faith. Still running on faith. What I'm about to show you, you are not going to believe that I did all of this in less than 3 months. I don't believe that I did all of this. I look back at this and I'm scared of this. Because it's like, wow, just imagine if other people could just embark on the same journey that I embarked on. Just follow my footsteps in such ways to find out who they are, man. The world would be, honestly, a beautiful place. Because when I show you what I've done, God first, man. So, not only is the brand in 20 plus cities, I have some huge accomplishments. I've personally raised, donated, contributed to this city, Federal Way, Washington, $3,600 in raw materials, products, clothing, pillows, and money. Um, I don't have money normally to give, but if I have change in my pocket, $1 or so, a couple of dollars, the most I give people is about $5 if I got like, $20 on me and someone makes eye contact and I feel that they really need it. But what I'm trying to say is most of that is just products, clothing, pillows, care packs, um, with the help of everyone who's purchased. Um, that number is a little, but a huge number. Without, wow, I wouldn't have been able to muscle through this without the initial deposits from 4 or 5 people. They stimulated all of this that I'm about to unleash on you. So, with that being said, let's go to what I've accomplished in Jacksonville before here. Um, in my 17 years plus in Jacksonville, I've always been trying to embark on this journey. I just wasn't following God. I wasn't in the right spiritual mindset, and I didn't have the right spiritual mentorship. So therefore, I couldn't go as far as I've gone here. What I've done in 6 months, I've surpassed what I've done in Jacksonville by far in 17 years. Why? Faith and the spirit of entrepreneurship accelerated through the Holy Spirit. Jacksonville, we fed, me and like 3 other people, we fed 280 people plus. Um, that was like a 1 day thing. I did like 40 or 50 bags. I got a couple other people to do it, and then we hit the streets. We did that. I personally know that I've saved 20 people from suicide. I had conversations with them. They're like, "Yeah, I'll put this on anything." Basically, I would never put anyone on blast, but they've messaged me or called me, and I literally took my time out and did what I had to do. I don't want kudos for that. That's what we're supposed to do as people, in general. Give people your time. I've helped start 100 brands. Most of them never paid me anything. I just did it for experimentation and for the simple fact of when I launch these classes and what I'm about to launch, I'll have the people that say, "Oh yeah, yeah, he helped me. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." I have the resume, I have the documentation, I have the emails, I have the messages, I have the consultation records, everything. Spirit of entrepreneurship, documentation. That's one thing that I learned from a very special guy, my stepfather that was in my life for a good 17 years. Um, I've done 600 consultations. I also learned that from him. You got to give to get. A part of me learning what I've learned and basically all those consultations, experiments, I gave people information to see if it would work, to see if they would apply it. I'd take that information, gather it, collect it, basically say, all right, that worked, that didn't work. All right, we're going to save that for later, right? So I got tons of research, tons of research. I've personally taught and or group taught 5,000 people how to dance. Had success in entertainment, broadcasting, real estate, production, advertising, and sales. 18 years plus in Jacksonville, basically from club promotion to regular jobs to helping businesses grow to photography to music production to Shebang, boom, boom. I've been busy. The spirit of entrepreneurship. Um, I've assisted four nonprofits launching. Didn't get paid for any of them. One of them, it was an internship slash. The guy was my mentor, so I didn't care. But I gave myself away, basically to see the process, to be a part of all those people's process. And I personally mentored two young men, as in one of them I worked with for about 3 years, developed his music career, and was there for him as like a brother. He lost his mom. He went to jail, and I used to check up on his mom and things of that nature. Then I had another young gentleman that I used to work with at IHOP, and he was a smart kid, and just was mine was man just in a dark place, and I got it out of a dark place, helped him get on his feet. Then through transitioning my jobs, we parted ways, and he reached out. He was in a bad spot, pulled him back, tried to help him again. And, I enjoy that because everyone needs help. I've gotten that same type of help. It's just part of the process for some people. So that's the Jacksonville. All right. So in Seattle, I've, let's see. Yep. I personally distributed 150 care packs. That's a rough estimate. I'd say around 140 something to be specific, 42. That's with the sole help of everyone who purchased. 100 of those care packs, a good 90 of those care packs were purchased through just donations, or I utilized funds from other sales and just allocated that for that. And then a good 40 or 50 of those were just me. I wasn't getting any sales, and I needed to hit the streets, and I said, well, I got to invest. 100 pillows have been distributed and sewn by me. I'm gonna tell you, I love sewing pillows. Why the pillows? I've been homeless several times and or lived in a car, so I understand and speak homeless very well. That's why I do what I do. Pillows are very, very essential. Man, you should see the faces when these people get these pillows. I've helped here launch approximately 10 brands locally. Um, Actually, not locally. This is some people. There's one gentleman in Georgia, but basically through them seeing what I've done and being inspired and just consultations, I've helped 10 brands launch. My pledge goal was to speak to 1,000 people, share my story, basically give them, a poster and or one of these items that I'm going to show you, um, or give them like some kind of discount or some sort. Basically, the targeted people are definitely homeless, unemployed, and single parent, or just people who absolutely look like they're having a bad day. I've hit 548 as of today. 5:30 p.m. The 13th of September 2021. I'm sorry, I document everything. Um, I've given out and rolled over 800 posters. I've given out and rolled over 800 posters. I've given out and rolled. The reason why I stress that because that's a lot of work. Um, I've already told you we're in 11 states. This is huge. Most people, if you don't understand marketing, sales, branding, you don't know what I just accomplished here. It's huge. Huge. The Bible says to subdue and to dominate. That's what this is, the spirit of entrepreneurship. You dominate. You can't dominate without territory. You can't get territory without people in them territory. And I've done 100 consultations basically through people speaking through them, ministering to them, and et cetera, et cetera. Let's get to the good stuff.